If you're thinking about it, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? As long as you tried.
Yeah.
But just honestly, if you do try, you won't regret it.
Mm-hmm.
I sure don't. I'm still going, and I don't plan on stopping this time.
All right, it's Carla Rand. Welcome to the Carla Rand Show, and I have Jason Desjarlais here with me today. Jason, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me. That was back and forth on it, but let's do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I saw you at the gym, and I saw you consistently coming into the gym, and I finally was like, I got to get this guy on my podcast. And I think because you haven't been on a podcast before or probably done much interview style.
No, I haven't. No. This is my first time actually doing something like this.
Cool.
So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk to you about like why, what inspired you to start working out and going to the gym and all that. But before we get into that, can you tell us sort of where you're from, a little bit about your family, schooling, whatever you want to share?
Yeah, well, there's 7 of us, and we grew up in Marlborough, which is just 20 minutes down the road. It was a good life, we had a good upbringing. Just just a bunch of kids.
7 kids in the family.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fighting going on, but not as much as you think with 7 kids. But there were a lot of people in the house. There's going to be some fighting going on.
I have 6 kids.
Yeah.
5 boys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what we had. There was 5 of us, and then 2 of the girls had to put up with us. So
yeah. The fighting, I think it's inevitable. Like people that say, "Oh, my kids don't fight much." I'm like, seriously? And again, the more kids you have, the more likely the fights are going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So you grew up in Marlborough. Did you go to school in Edson? Or?
Yeah, well, I went in kindergarten. I was in Marlborough, and then commuted to Edson from grade 1 to high school.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Some mornings you fall asleep on the bus, and then you're like, "Oh, I got to get up now and go to school." That was pretty rough.
Yeah. Did you do good in school? Was that something you enjoyed, or did you just sort of get through?
I kind of just went through it. Starting in high school, I actually enjoyed grade 9 to grade 11. Then I was kind of falling back in grade 11 because I was more of like getting into the party scene. So fell back there.
What kind of a kid were you? I'm guessing you were probably a quiet kid.
Oh yeah, I was quiet. I was the shy one because I was always a big guy. So I didn't really want to mix it up with people until they came to me and said, "Hey, how you doing?" This and that, and until they opened me up, and then we're become buddies, and then I really open up. So
we say you were a bigger guy. So you mean like even when you were a little kid, you were already you were fairly heavy?
Yeah. My whole life I was a big dude.
Why do you think it was? It sounds probably genetics.
Because honestly, I don't even know. From my baby pictures up to now, I was a little Michelin man.
Yeah, so you were kind of quiet, kept maybe to yourself a little bit, and you didn't really love school, but you got through it.
Yeah. Actually, elementary, I'd say grade 1 to 4, I enjoyed, and then grade 5, it was a 5-6 split, so there was some bullying going on there, which I hated. Then grade 6, I had a good time because we were the last of that elementary school. Then grade 7 was rough for me, going to a new school and it's almost starting over again. There was a lot of bullying in grade 7. And then, from grade 8 on, it was not bad.
What did the bullying look like? Like, what were they picking on you, let's say, for?
Well, my weight was one big one. I always had my hair grow out, and it was always really curly. And they tug at it and all, like they did a lot of that on the bus, tugging the hair, and it was not fun at all.
Do you think that made you even more quiet and reserved because you're just trying to avoid people?
Yeah. I just went in my own little shell. Then my first time lifting weights, my older brother had a weight set in the basement, and I was 13, and I started lifting weights then. That was my first time. Did that for a while and I liked it, but there's been about maybe 4 or 5 times where I just stopped and then I'd pick it up again. About 4 or 5 times throughout my life I did that.
So what made you want to lift weights?
Probably because I felt like I needed to get stronger, just to show kind of, I guess, in like an intimidation kind of thing to other people, where if I see my arms they see my arms bigger and that, and I thought they'd probably leave me alone.
Right.
But
so based on your, and I want to get into more like why you're in the gym now, but based on your experience with being bullied, what would you say to somebody, like let's say they're a kid in elementary or junior high and they're getting bullied? What do you think they need to know? I mean, obviously, like, let's get rid of the bullies because that's a pain. But is there anything that you did or anything that you could say that, you know, that would help them? And maybe it is just like start working out. I don't know.
Honestly, I still to this day, I don't know what to say. You can either don't want to go to that point, but just pop them in the lips once. Usually bullies would back down.
Okay.
Actually, honestly, grade 5, that's what I did. And then I was left alone for the rest of that year. But I don't know if you think that's the way to go or...
Well, that would be very controversial, but I do feel very much like, I don't think you should start a fight.
No.
But I think you can finish it.
Yeah. If they come to you, don't go, hey, like, and then pop them.
Yeah.
Wait till they come start the confrontation first.
Right.
Which usually happened with me.
Mm. Well, and it's kind of tricky, right? Because it's like, okay, do I pop them in the face or the lips or whatever? And then do they retaliate and how bad does this get? But at the same time, like, the bullies can be just relentless. And a lot of them just need a good wake-up call.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was this one that I hit. He hit me twice as hard and that was it. But then he left me alone after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if you don't stand up for yourself, like, and the thing is a lot of, you know, the teachers and in schools and in a lot of settings, it's kind of like, oh, you know, don't ever hit and don't hit back and just come and tell the teacher. So then you kind of end up being a tattletale, which is going to make you be bullied even more. Yeah. So it's like, sometimes you just got to do it. I know, like with my kids, like I don't tell them go, you know, fight or whatever, but if somebody's getting picked on, whether it's you or somebody else, you stand up for that person. And if that means that you might have to get in a fight, well, that's what it has to be. Like, you got to do what's right, you know? You can't
Well, where I came from too, my dad being like the tough guy, you got to do this, you got to stand up for yourself. So you wouldn't just back away or go tattle. You would stand up for yourself, and finally, if once you've had enough, you'd hit him.
Right.
And that's basically what I did.
Yeah.
Even though, like I said, I did get popped back twice as hard because he was bigger than I was. But after that, like I said, I was left alone after that.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I think a lot of times if you just say, you know what, enough.
Yeah.
And like you said, like start lifting weights, start doing
that's what I did. I felt that was my escape for a long time. And like I said, I've stopped doing that and started up again about 4 or 5 times from 13 to now.
And I'm sorry that happened to you. Like, it's really frustrating when people get bullied, but it does happen.
Oh yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah. And I think it's good that you can talk about it and say, hey, here's what you do. So.
Actually, sorry, I was going to bring this up too. Like in grade 5, I thought maybe that's how life is. So when I did see a bunch of people bullying someone else, I would kind of get in that group and say something to that kid. And I feel awful about it now, but that's just how I thought life is. Like, I take it, so you got to take it too, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring that up too.
Well, and that's good to know, because I think especially when you have been bullied, you really want to be part of that group.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can get more accepted into that group by doing what they're doing. So if they're picking on a kid or they're doing whatever, if you kind of go along with it and you laugh along or whatever, they're going to leave you alone.
Yeah. And I've actually, that's what I thought. I thought, okay, I'm going to be a follower. I can't really be a leader right now, so I'll do what they're doing. Follow the group, follow the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's for sure. So what got you into the gym now, Jason? Because I see you come in there consistently, because I'm in there, all the time because that's my work. Mm-hmm. But like, you're in there, you come, and you're not just doing like a 15-minute workout. Like you're on the treadmill, and then you go and lift your weight, and like you're there for a long time. Like when did you start? How long have you been doing this?
Actually, July 9th I started. I don't know, it was just like a light switch went off in my head where I'm not going to be around much longer if I keep doing what I'm doing.
So that was about almost a year ago.
July. I still remember to the date, July 9th. I was driving home from Edmonton, and I just almost like an epiphany, like I got to do something. So yeah, I had a treadmill at home and a couple dumbbells, so that's how I started. Not on the treadmill yet. I just started lifting weights and we had 2 flights of stairs, so did that about 4 times, and I was gassed. And I was like, geez, I am way out of shape. So then about 2 weeks after, once I started lifting weights, I kind of started feeling a bit more confident. And then I went on the treadmill. I couldn't last 8 minutes on it. That's how bad my stamina and endurance was. And I kind of got down again because I couldn't go like even 10 minutes. So, but I don't know, just kept going. And then I stepped on the scale and I lost 25 pounds. That was the big, like, ooh, let's go. That was in August, and what was I, 422 at the time.
422 pounds you lost, you said 25 pounds in the first month?
Yeah.
Wow. And that, like, was it diet too?
Yeah, diet too. Actually, yeah, I started just eating right and more greens. And I hate greens. Actually, I love greens now. Some of it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Learn how to eat them.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they're like, I don't like my veggies.
Yeah, your body adapts.
Yeah.
To anything you do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Ashley's gym opened up, and me and my buddy Mel were talking about joining. This was end of November, and then I started going back and forth on it. I was like, no, I got enough at home. Like, I got the treadmill and a couple dumbbells. And then I was coming back from Jasper on a trip, and she messaged me saying, where are you? And I was like, I'm just coming back from Jasper. I said, okay, meet me at the gym. We're signing up. Kind of like almost like stern. And I thought, I didn't really think about it. Like, oh shit.
Yeah. That was Ashley that did that?
Mel.
Mel. Oh, okay. Said we're going to do this.
Yeah. And then I thought, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be there. Like, I was going to say, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
So, but then I thought, okay, I'll be there in about an hour. And then signed up. And then, the rest is history. So, yeah, Mel kind of pushed me into it. And I'm thankful for that.
So you've been coming, you go there basically every morning, well, probably depending on what your shift is, schedule. And how many, like, tell me a little bit about your workout. Like, how often do you go? And then tell me a little bit about your eating.
I try to go 6 days a week. So then one day to recoup. Even that one day, I think I'm missing something. So I'll do a bit of like a little core workout just at home, just so the day's not really wasted. But yeah, 6 days a week, I'll go 25 on the treadmill and then about 11 minutes on the bike, and then do my whatever I'm going to work, what muscle groups I'm going to work that day for about half hour to 35 minutes. That's pretty much it for my workout. Yeah. Yeah. And then...
Yeah, and you go hard. Like, I see you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, sometimes I think I can go another minute here. I can do a couple more here, but sometimes I will do it, and then sometimes I don't want to say slack, but in my mind, I do think I slack, but I still get through it.
I think when you're doing it 6 days a week too, you're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing is you show up and you do something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And those bad days are actually, you feel a lot better once you're finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you do. It's amazing. Like, you come in the gym and sometimes it's that kind of like, okay, I guess I got to do this, and I'm tired. And by the time you leave, you're like, oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know if a lot of people feel this way, but I enjoy my cardio more than I do weightlifting.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you put your headphones in, right? So you're listening to music or podcasts, or what are you listening to?
Music. Yeah.
And that just keeps you going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you, because I mean, a lot of people are saying, oh, I want to work out, but it's hard to be consistent. I don't have motivation and this and that. What would you say to those people who are just like, they're very unmotivated? Maybe they start a little bit and then they kind of quit, and it's like off and on, and they only really go when they feel motivated, which in my experience, you're not going to feel motivated very often.
No.
Until it becomes a habit.
Oh yeah.
Like you're talking about that one day that you take off.
Yeah.
You notice it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh yeah. Just once you keep going, it gets embedded in you. It's like during your day, I got to do this and that. Yeah. Once you get your workout into it, it's just planning. So a lot of it's planning, and once you start seeing the results, that was a huge motivation. And then you just keep thinking, I didn't get this far just to get this far.
Right.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were at 422. What do you mind sharing what your weight is now?
314.
Wow.
I weighed myself just yesterday. And when I first started this back, I think in March 2021, I weighed myself. It was 448. That was the biggest I was. And then 314 yesterday.
So you've lost well over 100 pounds.
Oh yeah. About 330 some. I'm down now.
And that's in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, it is.
And have you been working out basically 6 days a week for the entire year, or has it been?
I'd say, back in January I got sick, and I was off for maybe 2.5 weeks, and lost a lot of blood. So my hemoglobin level was so low. So I tried, of course, I tried to jump on something too quick, and I couldn't even go on the treadmill for 3 minutes. My heart was just because I didn't have enough blood in me.
Oh man.
So that was, it was pretty bad.
So you had to ease back in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But you did, because a lot of people, they'll have a setback like that, 2.5 weeks, and then they go in and they can't do anything, and they're like, well, forget that.
Yeah, just do it. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any specific goals, Jason? Like you want to get to a certain weight, or you want to be able to do a certain thing, or are you just kind of like taking it one day at a time?
One day at a time.
Yeah.
That's been my big one too. Like just keep treating it as day one.
So yeah, basically you think of every day as day one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And explain more. Like what is that mindset that makes you think that, or how does that help you?
Helps me because you're not looking. Well, I guess when I don't know how to explain this one.
It's just like you started and you're just going to keep going, rather than being like, okay, well I have this goal and in 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like if you look too far in, that can be a setback too. That's why just day one, just one day at a time, even 1 hour at a time with anything. Because it's some people expect results in a week. You're not going to see. Well, you might. You like even getting up in the morning, you will, but you won't start seeing tone or like in your body and results. I'd say probably within 3 weeks. That was for me anyway. I don't know. People might be different, but
I think it's true. I think you can, you've got to give yourself at least 3 to 4 weeks before you're really going to notice anything.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so hard and discouraging, I think, Jason. A lot of people, they start for 1 week, then they do 2 weeks, and you're like, well, I'm not fine. Nothing's happening for me now.
Well, a friend of mine too was saying that she hasn't seen anything yet, but I've definitely noticed. So I told her that, and hopefully that encourages her to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's funny. So we're talking about like, okay, so inspiration, motivation, whatever. For you, you're not necessarily like super inspired or motivated necessarily, other than seeing the results. Mm-hmm. But you're just like, this is day one. Like, I got to show up today. Yeah. And the next day, I got to show up today. Next day, I got to show up today.
Yeah. Well, it's even with work, anything. Just, okay, one day. This is one day, and then before you know it, the week's over, your shift's over, your workout's over, anything. Yeah. Because, sorry. No. Yeah. Well, sometimes I'll zone right out when I'm working out that I don't remember the workout. That's how zoned in that I do get. Mm-hmm. And then I think, did I do this and that and finish? And then I look at the time, it's like an hour and 10 minutes after. I was like, I must have done it because it's the time's there. Wow. Yeah, sometimes I zone right, like I'm so zoned in or zoned out, however you want to say it, that I can't really remember what I did. Just go through the motions. Yeah. Yeah. But it's become such a habit for you. Well, it's like driving, right? Sometimes I'm driving and I'm thinking, and then all of a sudden I'm like, how did I get here? Like, a few times, because I've driven lots from Edmonton and Jasper. Yeah. And all of a sudden I'll be in Hinton or I'll be in Piers, and I was like, how the hell did I get here? What even happened? Yeah. So there's been a lot of people that you'd kind of mentioned that are giving you these compliments now. Mm-hmm. So I was one that said, hey, Jason, like, this is awesome. I would really like you on my podcast. Yeah. But I know there's been others too. Yeah. What does that do for you when you think of someone like me or the other people in the gym saying, like, you are an inspiration, Jason? I've been, actually, the last few times I've been saying the same thing, like just spreading it to others, saying, like, people that I see there a lot, I say, just good job, fist bump that, good job, keep going. Mm-hmm. Just do what people did to me. Give it back. Yeah, give it back. That's good. And because it does motivate you too when people say that. Yeah. If they're like, you're an inspiration, you're like, well, I should really keep being an inspiration. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Becomes like part of your identity almost, hey? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then that's something new to me because I've never really knew how to take compliment and words like that, I guess. Mm-hmm. So what would you do? Like, so when people first complimented you, did you just kind of not say anything, or you just kind of shrugged your shoulders or smiled, or what did you? The first time, it did catch me off guard. I said, like I kind of stumbled my words like I am now sometimes. Just kind of like, thanks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I say, what I said is, you just made my day. That's what I said. Yeah. Yeah. Which she did. Yeah. So what do you say now when people compliment you? Say, just say thank you very much. Yeah. Like, and then I'll say, you're looking good too. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Good. So, what is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, Jason, here, like about working out? If let's say somebody just wants to kind of get started, what do they need to know? I mean, it sounds like you're just like,
work with what you have. You had a treadmill, you had some dumbbells.
Basically, yeah. Work with what you know. Just to start off, if you know specific machines and that, just start with that and ask questions is a big one too.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the gym, Ashley's gym, everyone's so friendly. Like if you don't know something, just ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I find too. Like people say, "Oh, Carla, how do I use this equipment?" Or "How does this?" Or "What do I do here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll help you anytime." Mm-hmm. If I'm right in the middle of working with a client, I might not be able to.
Yeah, wait till they're done the set or something.
Yeah. But then also too, like I say, well, if I'm not here, or if Ashley's not here, and Ashley's the owner of Golden Gains Gym, if somebody's not here, there's not a trainer or whatever, just ask somebody that looks like they know what they're doing. They can probably help you, at least to a degree, Because a lot of those
I definitely would.
Yeah, right? Like if you're like, hey, I learned this, somebody told me about this, there you go. This is going to be helpful for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Anything else you want to share? Anything you want to say to anybody else out there? Or do you think we kind of covered it, Jason?
If you're thinking about it, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? As long as you tried.
Yeah.
But just honestly, if you do try, you won't regret it.
Mm-hmm.
I sure don't. I'm still going, and I don't plan on stopping this time.
I want to ask you one more question. What does this do? Okay, so physically it's changing your body. You've lost over 100 pounds. You're probably feeling stronger, probably feeling more confident, all of that.
Oh, yeah.
What has it done in your head? Like, has it changed your mind?
Yes, big time.
Tell me about that.
Just anxiety and depression. I do still have it, but once I go to the gym and I'm out of there, that's my medicine. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just texting a friend today and saying, you know what, like, I don't know how I would do all the things that I do and be in a good headspace for a lot of it if I didn't work out and stuff.
Oh, I think about that too. Is like, where would I be this year if I didn't start last year?
Right.
And then I start thinking deeper and deeper. And yeah, it's crazy. The mind can be your worst enemy, or it could be your biggest tool with anything.
Mm-hmm. Very powerful.
Yeah, because yesterday I was invited to go to Rotary Park in Whitecourt. Last year I wouldn't have even thought twice, no, because of a lot of people, public space. I wouldn't want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my confidence is high right now. Like I'm not the type to gloat or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to spread motivation around for sure now.
Yeah.
I've received a lot of it now in the last few weeks. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. I'm like, I keep seeing, Jason's just in there, and he's in here again, and he's in here again, and I'm just like, holy! And I did a post a while ago about how, and I think you maybe liked it or commented or whatever, but the idea that like when you first start a program, first go to the gym, everyone's like, oh wow, you're so amazing. Maybe the first 5 or 10 pounds you lose, whoa! But it's the people that go in and day out for years and years and years. They don't get a gold star anymore when they walk through the door.
Yeah, I think I did see that one.
Right. Like it's the ones that are, continuing for years and years. You don't get a gold star, but you do it because of the inner motivation. I think that's where it has to come from.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I will say this, like the first 5 months I did do it, I was looking for outside opinions and would post stuff like that and would get it, which does help a lot. But now it's all for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as I'm happy with what I'm doing, that's all that matters. And that's what that's what should matter with anyone. If you're happy with you, don't change anything. Mm-hmm. Unless it's breaking the law or something.
Yeah. If you like stealing from the bank, just carry on. No. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's like, it's got to be you. Like for me, if there was nobody at the gym and nobody was watching me and I got no affirmation, I would still be there.
Actually a couple times there was no one. Actually, sometimes I enjoy that more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on holidays, like, early Saturday mornings or something.
Yeah.
Right on. Awesome. Well, thanks, Jason. I appreciate this conversation. It's been really nice hearing a little bit about your story because I always like to know people better when I see them. So I'll keep seeing you in there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Say hi and see how's it going. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. Again, I thought I was back and forth on this. I don't know what I'm going to say, or I don't know if I want to do this, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Good.
For sure.
I did too. Thank you.
Hey, it's Carla.
thanks so much for listening to the podcast today. I have 3 things I want to tell you about myself. But first, please go check out my company, Power Fitness Online. PowerFitnessOnline.com or Power Fitness Online, Facebook or Instagram. What I do there is I help you, I train you so you can get fit, strong, healthy, have energy, feel good, and be at your best. Because in this life, we want to be at our best. I do, you do, we all do. So here's 3 facts about myself. Number 1, I've been a fitness trainer for 20 years. Yes, 20 years. Number 2, I'm 5'4 3/4, not 5'4 1/2, none of that. 5'4 3/4. Number 3, I have 6 kids. Yes, they're all my own. None of them were twins. They're all my own. I had them one at a time, and I love my kids so much. So remember, go to powerfitnessonline.com if you want to get fit and stay fit.